Good evening, everyone. I am Margaret Smith, Chair of the Los Gatos Planning Commission, and I'm going to call to order the meeting of Wednesday, September 10th, 2014. Mr. Paulson, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Erickson?
Here.
Commissioner Sayoc?
Here.
Commissioner Badami?
Here.
Commissioner Talasfor?
Here.
Chair Smith?
Here.
And Commissioner O'Donnell and Commissioner Birch have excused absences.
Thank you, Mr. Paulson. And Commissioner Erickson, could you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? The town of Los Gatos strongly supports the democratic process, and we welcome public comment. There are 3 ways that you can comment on items. One is you can send in emails to the Planning Commission staff, and all of those emails are passed on to the commissioners with their packet for every meeting, and we do read that. You can also fill out a card that is in front of you behind each bench if you wish to speak at a meeting. We have 2 opportunities at a meeting. One is called verbal communication, and that's when a member of the public can make a 3-minute comment on any item not on the agenda. And then the third opportunity is in the evening, if there is an agenda item that you wish to speak on. Also fill out a speaker card, return it to the staff, and you will be called to speak at the time we hear the agenda item. Are there any written communications this evening?
There are no written communications this evening.
Are there any requested continuances?
There is a requested continuance for item number 1.
Thank you. And then we also know that there has been a re-noticed item as well. Mr. Paulson, you want to just walk us through that date and time?
Sure, that's correct. So the 300 Marchmont Drive, the Hillbrook conditional use permit hearing has been rescheduled for September 24th. That meeting will start at 6 p.m. rather than 7 p.m. So that meeting will start 1 hour earlier than normal start time for the Planning Commission.
Thank you, Mr. Paulson. In addition to their service on the Planning Commission, each commissioner does sit on subcommittees, and those subcommittees meet in between our regularly scheduled meetings. Are there any reports from any commissioners? Seeing none, thank you. I do not have any cards in front of me for the verbal communication period this evening, so I'm going to assume that none of you wish to step forward and make any comments. Are there any items on the consent calendar?
There are not any items on the consent calendar.
And there are no continued public hearings?
Correct.
All right. Well then, since we have no agenda items and there's no other items, is there a report from the Director of Community Development?
I would step back one item so that we can actually take the formal action to continue item number 1.
All right.
So we'll need a motion and a second.
Do I have a motion and a second to continue item number 1? Commissioner Talasfor?
Right, I'll move to continue conditional use permit application U-14-013 at 15527 Union Avenue.
Thank you. Is there a second? Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner
And that was
Talasfor.
approved. Well, that's it.
All right. Is there a second? Commissioner Bandami?
I'll second the motion.
All right. Any comments? Commissioner Erickson?
So just an informational question from staff. So in reading the report and the information, just a curiosity question about why that, can you shed any light on why, or would it be appropriate for you to shed any light on why the applicant requested to continue it?
The applicants requested continuance. I think they're still looking into some issues revolving around the traffic impact fee, and so they'd asked for some additional time to consider that before it moves forward.
Thank you.
Right, if we could now have a vote. Commissioner Talasfor?
Yeah, could I have another question? So will this report then be rewritten to reflect whatever the outcome is of the traffic mitigation fee?
No, it will not be. If we receive any additional information from the applicant or any members of the public, then a new cover sheet will be prepared and submitted to the Planning Commission.
Okay.
Otherwise, that report will stand for consideration, and there'll be a cover sheet just referencing that.
All right, thanks.
And lastly, I'd just like to note for the record that it'll be continued to October 8th.
Yes, that was going to be my question, so thank you. Mr. Paulson, all in favor? Aye. Passes unanimously. Thank you for calling that to my attention, Mr. Paulson. And now, do we have a report from the Director of Community Development?
Thank you very much, Laurel Prevetti, Assistant Town Manager and Community Development Director. Last week, our Town Council met, and they did recommend that the housing element be submitted to the state for their consideration. There was no public testimony, so it is now in Sacramento for its review, and we're optimistic about the outcome there. The Town Council also opened the public hearing for the North 40 and took about 40 or so public testimonies. They gave a little bit extra time for public input, and they also had inquiries of various speakers. The public hearing was closed and the matter was continued to next week, so the Town Council will then have their deliberations. I also wanted to just note for the Commission that the town has started its boards and commissions recruitment. So you will start seeing advertisements in the Los Gatos Weekly about the opportunities to participate. There is a deadline of December 5th for applications, and the Town Council expects to do the interviews and appointments on December 16th, and all eligible members of our community are certainly encouraged to apply. Thank you.
Any questions for Ms. Prevetti? Seeing none, Mr. Paulson, you have a report?
Yeah, I have a few items. One, I'm going to pass out an email from a citizen who lives adjacent to a 3-lot development on Union that recently was completed. She had some suggestions for staff. Staff has met, both planning and Parks and Public Works staff have met with this neighbor as well as other neighbors out there regarding the ongoing development, and so she had some suggestions for some challenges that arose during construction, and so staff is working with myself and Laurel are working with staff to try to help incorporate some of these where appropriate and to help better inform both the Planning Commission and the Town Council. Additionally, the DRC has met 2 times recently. So at the end of August, on August 26th, there was a project at 16785 Kennedy Road. That was an architecture and site application to approve the demolition of a single-family residence and construction of a new family residence. That was approved. Additionally, there was a certificate of compliance to legalize 2 separate lots on 101 and 111 East Main Street, across the street here. There was another certificate of compliance to recognize 2 parcels on 138 Wood Road. And lastly, there was a approval of a new home on a vacant parcel at 224 Bella Vista Avenue. And then on September 2nd, the DRC met and approved an architecture and site application to construct an attached garage that encroached into the setbacks on a non-conforming lot. So with that, that concludes my report.
Thank you, and I also want to mention there are no minutes to approve this evening. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, thank you. And I do note that we have a new face in the audience. So, sir, I'm not sure if you're here to make any comments or not. All right, thank you. Well, we are, do Commission members have anything that they would like to share this evening? We are going to adjourn the meeting then. Thank you very much.